Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another pick a card reading. I hope you're all doing so well. So, today we're going to be looking into your next rebirth. What chapter is opening in your life? I feel for some of you, it could be like a whole new era of your life as well. Like it feels like there's this new energy opening up for you, and it's really, really well deserved. For each and every one of you put so much effort in. There's something really, really special I feel coming in, and it's being born. It's like a rebirth. So I'm really excited about this reading. I actually had the idea for this reading and a light language healing after I had this dream about a baby. I was looking after someone's baby, and it was the sweetest little baby. And I had such a fun time in this dream with this baby. And I woke up and I was like thinking about the symbology of dreaming about babies, right? And how they are like new life. So I feel like there's this new life. It's waiting for us. It's ready. It's just about ready to come in. So I feel like it's the perfect time to do a reading and to really like look into this to see what's going on in the energy field and any messages that spirit has for this time of transition and rebirth. So I also did channel a light language healing that is about rebirth. So this light language healing will really help you to transmute the past and step into this new beginning with grace and with power. It's really great for helping to clear subconscious blocks that we hold from past lives, like karmic limitations that we bring into this life, and even can help, light language really helps with releasing trauma from the cells and from the body. So if you feel sort of ready for a little bit of energetic help, as you are manifesting something new, as you are transitioning into a new way of being, into a new life, then I would really recommend that you check it out. I'll link all the information in the description box below, and I'm sending you all so much love. Hello, Group 1, and welcome to your rebirth reading. So right as I was preparing for your reading, the goanna that lives in our garden just started to walk past, and oh my God, they just stopped and are looking at me. So they're right outside the door. And I only see this goanna like once every like 3 to 4 weeks or something. So it's pretty rare that I see them. And they have such a powerful energy. If you don't know what goannas look like, look up Australian goanna. Anyway, so I wanted to search about like the symbology of them. And the energy that I get from them is really ancient wisdom. Like there's some kind of ancient wisdom that's being born within you at this time is what I'm feeling. There's some kind of ancient wisdom that's a part of your rebirth. So symbolically, to do with the Indigenous people about Aboriginal dreaming stories in Australia, a goanna is a creator being or an ancestral spirit. So it could literally be an ancestor that's sort of helping you at this time. But I feel that this rebirth is really like getting you in touch with the fact that you are a creator being. Like it's putting you back into some sense of power where you're like, yes, I am the creator of my own reality. And you're stepping up more as a creator instead of feeling like life is kind of happening to you and you're just like getting swept up in, change and turmoil and chaos. I feel like there's a lot more order coming into your life and a lot more of a steadiness, a groundedness, and kind of like this raw power. Like I feel the element of fire within the goanna as well. So there's some kind of power that you're really coming into with this rebirth. You're really stepping into a sense of power. And I feel as well a shedding of like layers of trauma to do with your past and past lives where I feel especially like letting go of people pleasing is part of this rebirth. People pleasing, like in the form of kind of like abandoning yourself for others to make other people feel comfortable or to make try to prop people up. And I feel like where people pleasing comes from or where I'm feeling like it's coming, wow, the goanna's coming even closer now. They're just gorgeous. Like the patterning on their bodies is like exquisite. It's so beautiful. Anyway, so the trauma, God. The trauma I feel like that's clearing out is around people pleasing. And people pleasing is like a trauma response is what I'm trying to say. Like, especially how I'm reading it in your energy, like it's a trauma response that comes from feeling like you need to regulate the emotional experience of the adults in your life when you're a child to make yourself feel more safe. So it's like, well, if mommy and daddy are okay, or whoever your caregivers were, if they're okay, if they're happy, if they're feeling good and confident and, well nourished, then I'm going to be safe. Then I'm going to be okay. So you might find that you kind of like subconsciously and automatically slip into this tendency where, and it feels like self-abandonment, where you might like kind of get a reading on someone and it can turn into inauthenticity, where it's like you might get a reading on someone and not really even like them that much or not be that attracted to them. But then when they kind of like talk to you, you might like kind of give them heaps of compliments or try to make them feel really good or pretend like you really, really like them or really interested in them when actually it's not very authentic. So what I'm seeing is like the shedding of some kind of a pattern to do with people pleasing, where you felt like you had to kind of be inauthentic in some way, but it wasn't like calculated or planned or anything like that. It comes as like a trauma response to certain energies where it makes you feel more safe, because it did when you were a child, where it made you feel more safe, right? As a child, to kind of put other people's needs above your own. And so I feel that this thing can happen to you and then it's sort of like happening and it's outside of your control and you're like, oh my God, you're just like sort of watching this thing unfold. And it can be hard sometimes to like get a handle on patterns that come from really deep within us from our childhoods. And again, like I said, I really want to stress that it's a trauma response. It's a trauma response. So don't be hard on yourself about it, because it's something that has to be gently kind of like untangled and you have to unlearn it over time. And awareness is one of the greatest tools that you have at your disposal. Spirit saying this, like awareness of this pattern is really amazing. So because it helps to really release it from your body and from your being, when you can start to observe it with more and more clarity, even if you still go unconscious or subconscious and this pattern takes over in dynamics or in whatever, you find yourself answering someone's text before you've even thought about it. And you're like, well, that wasn't really my authentic response. Maybe your authentic response was to not reply or to, set a boundary or whatever. But instead you're kind of like bending over backwards for them or something. Spirit's saying don't be judgmental or harsh on yourself about it, because having awareness is how you clear these things. Having awareness is how you free yourself from them. So it's going to be a period where it can be uncomfortable, where you're having awareness, but it hasn't fully cleared yet. And that is actually one of the most important places to be when we're clearing subconscious patterns, is that there is going to be this awkward kind of phase where we're like graduating out of them and we're still aware as they're kind of like taking over or flooding our nervous systems. Because keep in mind, it's like a nervous system. It's sort of like a fight or flight response, okay? They say now fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, okay? And people pleasing is a fawn response, meaning if I can make this person like feel safe or feel happy, then I'm safe. So that's what I mean by it's a trauma response, and you need to be really kind to yourself about it. So what I see with this rebirth is like this real shedding of those people-pleasing and inauthentic ways of communicating and being in relationship, where you really weren't taking up enough space, or you weren't making your own needs enough of a priority, and kind of like going along with maybe more dominant people, or even just wanting everyone else to feel good so that you can feel good, instead of realizing that you are a sovereign being and other people's emotional states doesn't have to dictate how you feel or how you go about your day. So I see like you're a very loving and caretaking kind of person, and you kind of take on a role of like caretaking for others and caretaking other people's emotional needs. And I see that as well shifting, like subtly at first, but then more noticeably, where it's like, I feel you're going to be able to like sort of stand in your power and have this real kind of ancient flame within you. Like I feel this fire igniting within you, and it's like you have actually such deep wisdom and such deep power. But because you've gone through this lifetime with this trauma response, it's kind of like your nervous system has hijacked you a little bit. Like the nervous system hijacks us from our authentic self, and it can take us down kind of like rabbit holes of behavior, or like I said, fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses that aren't necessarily who we are, the truth of who we are. So I see this rebirth like you're stepping into the truth of who you are, and it is ancient wisdom, it's ancient knowledge, and it's ancient power. Like the power, I really feel fire really relating to power. And I feel you really able to stand in yourself, standing in yourself with a lot of strength and a lot of grace, and really not caring as much about how your energy impacts other people, because going through the world and feeling like it's your responsibility to like caretake for others or to regulate the emotional states of other people, like everyone around you, that's exhausting. That's a really exhausting way of living, because ultimately we can't control how other people perceive or receive us. We can't really do that much about it. We can do our best to be authentic in relationship and to show up and to communicate and to, do what we need to do. But other than that, there has to be a point where you just let go and you realize, like, I can't control this person. I can't control how they feel, how they respond to me, if they like you, if they don't like you, whatever it might look like. You can't really control that. So I see you actually gaining a lot of peace from this power. Like, this power gives you permission to be like peaceful and to be kind of like, fierce. I would say fierce is the word that is coming to mind. Like, I'm trying to find the right word, because that goanna, right? They're kind of intimidating. They're kind of intense. They like walk around like they own the place. They're huge lizards, and they're powerful, and they have every right to be that way. Okay, they're gorgeous. So that's how I feel for you. It's like you're kind of like amazing, and I feel that there's been this, like I said, this trauma response that's really kept you from really standing in your power in ways that you've wanted to. And like I said, I feel like with certain, I didn't say this yet, but with certain people, I feel like you do stand in your power and you are able to kind of like be this sort of badass version of yourself. But then I also feel like there are certain situations or dynamics, maybe people in authority, like bosses, or certain like friends that remind you of family members, or maybe even have past life connection to, or I don't know, certain dynamics can trigger this in you. And then I feel like you might feel like you lose yourself and you're kind of like, what's going on here? Where is this coming from? So I do see that like it might kind of cause a bit of a shakeup, because a lot of people are used to you being in this kind of, like, I feel like people are used to you being more of a pushover, or certain people are, because I don't feel like you're like this universally. I think you actually do have certain key relationships where you can be really authentic and people can really see your power and see you thriving. But there are kind of certain dynamics that I feel have been allowed to continue because of this deep wounding within you. Like, there's some kind of a wound that's allowed this kind of point of attraction for these dynamics to keep on going. And I see that wound like sealing over. Like, you know how wounds like heal themselves over time? It's like it's healing, and that's part of why this rebirth is being facilitated for you, because your energy is genuinely going to be very, very different. And I see you being very authentic and like really not caring what people say about it, do about it, think about it, how they react, jealousy, envy, trying to bring you down, trying to dominate you or control you. All of those kinds of energies, I see you not being a match to anymore. Okay, and it's only because of trauma wounds within you that you were ever a match to it, because no one's really truly a match to those kinds of dynamics, from an authentic place. So you standing in your authentic power, and it's like the way you walk around the world, like I was saying, that goanna came through for your reading. Like, they really, really came through for you. It's like, I love the timing of it. So it's like that goanna, it's like there's a fierceness. There's kind of this fierceness that I feel you're getting in touch with, and it's good. Like, it's healthy. It's a good thing. And some people, they might not like this new version of you, this rebirth version of you, where you are showing up differently, and they can't control you anymore. They can't dominate you anymore. They can't get you to people please them and to people please what they want and to fulfill their needs and fantasies or whatever. I feel like this is really, really healthy and really good, and Spirit's saying to let go of any relationships that it might be necessary to let go of during this time of rebirth. Like, it might not be necessary to let go of them all per se. It might be just a restructuring or like a reshuffling of your existing relationships, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's like, oh, everyone has to go. Although for some of you, maybe. But I don't really feel that, because I feel there are certain people in your energy field where you can be really authentic with. But it's like something about people's access to your energy, okay? That's what's changing. Like, people not being able to access your energy anymore. Because I think you're a very sensitive kind of being, and that's a good thing. And I feel like certain, like, you might get a message or a comment, or someone might just like make a comment at work or somewhere, and then it kind of can throw your nervous system out, and you can kind of have this nervous system response where it's like, maybe you're overanalyzing what they said and like, what did they mean? Where are they coming from? Or like, did I do something wrong? Did I offend them? Are they angry at me? Kind of like that kind of overthinking and overanalysis that comes from this anxiety and not feeling safe in the body. So it's like, I really feel that because people aren't able to get to you energetically, like something will actually happen where the boundaries are better in your life. Something will reshuffle. Maybe, for example, you're going to be able to do more independent work, so you don't have to be in the office with a certain boss or a certain colleague that's always making comments or throwing jabs. And it's like, naturally, as this rebirth happens, things in your external reality will reshuffle themselves and change and shift, and you will have better boundaries and people will have less access to your energy. And that's going to feel really good because it's going to keep you in a more like peaceful and neutral energetic state rather than you feeling like triggered so often. So I really feel like this is going to be like closing a chapter on on something from your past. Really, it's closing the chapter on a coping strategy that was born within some kind of a traumatic environment or a traumatic event or something like this where, there was something about your home life where you felt the need to people please around you. And people go for different, people do different like fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Like people go for different ones depending on who they are, their trauma history, their past life history even. Some people fight and they get really aggressive and angry and they have to defend themselves and their boundaries. Some people flight. They run away, they avoid, they don't enter into deep relationships because they can't handle the intimacy or whatever. So it's like for you it was fawn, and it's like that has been your go-to. How can I keep myself safe? I can be the one that gives the compliment first. I can be the one that shows I'm not a threat. I like you. I'm here for you. I'm an ally, this kind of energy. And it's sad because it can feel like abandonment. It can feel like self-abandonment because in that moment, you're not checking in with like, what do I need? Who am I? What do I need? It's all about the other person. It's all focused on the other person. So it can feel really like you lose yourself. You can feel like you lose yourself in relationships, having this kind of trauma response. So amazing, group one. Like this is such an amazing healing that you're going through. And you've done so much work. Like Spirit wants to acknowledge so much work that you've done to get to this point. Okay. So much work you've done. It's kind of like, I'm seeing like the growth of a plant now and like the blossoming of a flower. And like before that flower can blossom on that plant, there has to be so much that happens like beneath the surface. Like the roots have to go down, they have to anchor themselves, there has to be enough nourishment and water coming into that plant. These kind of the things, like you've laid a groundwork. There's like some kind of stepping stones that you've had to go through to get to this point, and I feel like it hasn't been easy. So during this time, you're in a transition. Okay, Spirit wants you to know you're in a transition where you've already done a lot of work, like especially beneath the surface or in ways that people might not have been able to visibly see. And it's about to become very, very visible to people. And they're going to be like, something changed. Huh? What happened? Did you change your hair? What's going on? And it's like, no, the change is internal. The change is inside of you because you've learned how to love yourself and how to stay with yourself even when that feels uncomfortable. And the reason I'm saying uncomfortable is because during this transition period between this version of yourself and the new version of yourself that's being born, there is Spirit saying there is a need for you to just become aware, become more and more like aware and conscious. And this is going to happen anyway because it's coming into your reality. It's coming into your awareness more and more. Become really aware of the ways in which this fawn response takes over your body and your nervous system. How you people please or put others' needs before yourself or caretake or overly focus on the other person instead of yourself. Or maybe you even feel uncomfortable if the tension's on you or if the conversations turn to you. So Spirit's saying just become aware because that awareness is how you heal it, okay? You don't have to do a huge amount more than just be really aware and be like, okay, this thing's taking over my body again. Like, can I breathe? Can I come back to center? Can I, whatever you feel you need to do to feel safe in that moment, but do not judge yourself for it, okay? Do not abandon yourself further by judging yourself and being hard on yourself about it, because this comes from a very traumatized little inner child part of you that you have to give so much love and gentleness to, and really believe like that this is changing. Like the awareness, when something becomes really clear to us, when it becomes really clear, it means it's on its way out. It means we're clearing it out of us. When it becomes clear, we're clearing it. Okay. That's a nice one. When it becomes clear, it's because we're clearing it. And it's like you weren't even able to maybe identify what was happening before. But this reading is a reflection of your inner work, because I'm telling you exactly what I'm seeing. And it's like, oh yeah, this is true. You know, this, I'm resonating with this. And that in itself is like a recognition of this pattern, so that this pattern can leave. So you're in this transition between who you are right now and who you're becoming. And this transition is a necessary part of your journey. So just stay with it and recognize that when the pattern becomes clear, it's because it's clearing. Okay. Well, I love that. Okay. Let's pull you a card. I can't believe we're like 18 minutes in. I've pulled you a card. Okay. Let's see, for group 1 spirit, what do you want them to know? Your dreams need a practical plan. What do you want them to know about their rebirth, spirit? Luck is on your side. What do you want them to know about their rebirth, spirit? Hold your vision. Yes. What do you want them to know about their rebirth, spirit? We got 2 Sagittarius energies. Look at the bigger picture and look at this. You are good enough is back of the deck. And conclusions are within reach. That's right. Conclusions are indeed within reach. Let's see. I just want to check that all these are in shot. So I feel like what Spirit's saying with these cards. Okay, so we're going to start with your dreams need a practical plan. I feel like what Spirit's saying here with this card is that the Taurus energy is about consistency and like continuity. Like it's about being kind of really reliable and in a way like stubborn and just continuing on and continuing on and continuing on, like one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. So I feel like what Spirit's saying is again about this transition. It's like, don't be disheartened as this pattern may become really, really obvious, because it's sort of like it was buried beneath the subconscious for a long, long time of your life. And now as it's coming to the surface to be cleared, it might feel like it's super magnified, like it has this magnifying glass over it. And it's like, all you can see everywhere is this pattern that you have, or this way you've been in, you know, in relationship with the world around you. And I feel like that might feel a little bit full on. It might feel a little bit full on during the transition. But you see, we have 2 full moons. So it's like full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. Then full moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan. And then boom, we have the new moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side. So it's like there is this completion energy. Full moons are about completing. There's some kind of a completion energy that will be happening during this transition. And it's about you really anchoring into the knowing that you are good enough, that you are enough. Because the trauma response, it can come from this underlying, like deeply held fear or belief that you aren't enough, therefore you have to overcompensate by giving a lot or being there for someone or always holding space or giving the compliments or people pleasing and whatever that looks like for you in your life. So it's like you're clearing out like kind of like your safety blanket, okay? Kind of like a safety blanket that you've had for a very long time as you step into a deeper part of your power, like an ancient power, an ancient flame. I keep hearing an ancient flame that's been with you for many, many lifetimes, for many, many like iterations of your soul's experience and of your soul's energy. Like you are an ancient being with love and you have so much power within you. Like it's almost unfathomable the amount of power that you actually hold in your vessel. So this pattern, it really doesn't exist as like so much in your soul as it exists in your nervous system. Okay, it exists in your nervous system like as a response to earth, as a response to life on earth and to relationship dynamics that have been traumatizing for you. So Spirit's saying like really hold out during this transition time and remember that all you need to do is hold the awareness. It doesn't matter if you fall back into the pattern or if you're watching it play out or if you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't seem to shake it. What's going on? Don't worry, because one day you're going to wake up with that luck is on your side card and it's like, you're going to be like, wait a minute, where's it gone? Where's the pattern? I can't see it. It's gone. I'm cleared. I'm free. I've done it. It's going to kind of be like that. Where it's like, yes, there is a little bit more karmic debris to like play out here and it might feel a little bit excruciating at times because in a way that it's like easier to be numb to the pattern. Okay. There's a certain way where it can be easier to be numb or ignorant or, to the pattern, like not realizing that it's there. But when you have the awareness of the pattern and it's still playing out, that is actually one of the hardest places to be. So have a lot of compassion and love for yourself and recognize that this is uncomfortable because you're clearing out a really painful belief, like you're pulling it out from the root that you weren't good enough, okay? And that you had to overcompensate and you had to be a people pleaser to survive and all these things. You're unlearning it. It's removing itself from you. So luck is on your side is like, you are going to have this rebirth. Like it is assured. A rebirth is assured. Conclusions are within reach. You're not that far away. But like I said, the last part can feel the hardest. It's darkest before the dawn. I feel like this is going to be your experience a little bit. But you have some kind of a vision. Hold your vision. Like I feel like you actually have a vision for your life. Like you have an idea of, like this comes deeper than just your like, oh, I want to manifest this, or I want to be like this, or I have this goal, or I really love to experience this. It's like there's a deeper vision that you have for your life as a soul, and it's about alchemizing this pattern. Like this pattern is one of the biggest goals that you actually have. Like it's really, really important, which is why it might feel really, really hard and painful in certain ways. And Spirit's saying to like really befriend yourself at this time, because I'm not sure, you might have like a few trusted allies like at this time who understand what you're going through, but it might be kind of like a personal and a solo quest. Like it might be kind of just for you, because unless someone else has this pattern, they might not be able to empathize in the way that you truly need empathy right now. And that's like a real sign that Spirit's saying to give that empathy to yourself, to really empathize and be like, imagine if you are, seeing a friend go through this and you could really empathize because you've been through it yourself. It's like, give that love and that compassion that you're so good at giving to others, give that to yourself during this period. So you're in a transition, okay, but the rebirth is coming. Hold your vision because it is coming in. And look at the bigger picture, saying like what I was saying before about the image of the plant that I was getting, right? It's like there's so much that happens before that flower blooms, before that flower blossoms. There's so much that happens in the roots underground and in the way that the nutrients and the water have to come in and the photosynthesis from the sun. Like there's so much going on. There's so many things that happen behind the scenes before that flower blossoms and it blooms. And it's like you've been in this behind the scenes energy for a long time. And then I see that this flower is blossoming as you, like you are the flower. You are the flower. You're blossoming in your own life. And it's going to be such a different era for you, where it's like you've been in this prep phase for a really long time, where you've been clearing and healing and going through like a lot of karmic restriction, basically, like where you come up against some kind of restriction and it's like, why can't I just bust through this glass ceiling? And it's because you had this subconscious belief around not being good enough and not being lovable as you are and needing to people please and overcompensate and overgive and all these things, caretake for others. And the thing is that you're clearing this pattern, and it's so important because it's one of those patterns that if it goes unchecked, like it can literally lead to illness in the body. It can lead to other things that are like a lot harder to kind of come back from. So it doesn't have to be harder to come back from though, to be honest. We can really heal anything. But I just see like cutting it off a lot earlier than most people have the opportunity to, or actually some people never have the opportunity to cut it off. A lot of people live like this for their whole lives and they never have this awareness. So as hard as it is, see it as a gift because you're freeing yourself from this karmic restriction and you have a vision for your life. Hold your vision. Like it's a deep soul vision. It comes from this deep ancient flame within you, and it's about you standing really strong in your power. And as this flower, it's like flower power. As this flower, you're actually going to have so much power. Okay, it's going to be like a totally different era for you, like a totally different rebirth, like where you are not swayed in relationship and not triggered and able to stand up for yourself and really unbothered by manipulations or people trying to kind of like dominate or control you. And really also I see that this process, this transition is a gift because it's deepening a relationship that you actually have with yourself. It's deepening this loving relationship that you actually have with just yourself. And it's a very special and beautiful thing. Okay, group number 1, that is the end of your reading. Look at that. I finished at 4 p.m. Amazing. So I would recommend you check out the Rebirth Light Language that I just channeled if you resonate. I think it would really, really help you with this transition that I kept talking about, because Spirit, I know this was a rebirth reading, but Spirit really wanted to talk about this transition because This transition is what's getting you to the rebirth. And trust and believe it's going to feel amazing to be that flower and to have this new blooming energy and blossoming energy in your life. Like I see a lot of fertility, a lot of new energy coming in for you, a lot of new possibilities that weren't available to you before because of these karmic restrictions and this karmic weight that you were carrying. So if you resonate, you would like some subconscious help, you'd like some help with this transition, then all the information about this rebirth, light language healing is in the description box below. And I'm sending you so much love. Hello group 2 and welcome to your reading. So let's take a look at your rebirth, Spirit. What do you want group 2 to know about their rebirth? We have the Wind Fairy, thoughts, words, intellectual analysis. Ooh, the Wind Fairy. Okay, wait, let's get a few more. Oh, we have another fairy. Ooh, the fairy's coming through. The Earth Fairy, physical health, grounding, foundations. Okay, I'm going to get 2 more, I feel. Let's see, restriction. Okay, and we have the High Priestess, discernment, prescience, prophecy, and vision. Okay, interesting, because then on the back of the deck, we have the Wasp. I was feeling this, I saw this card in my head before I started your reading, and I was like, interesting, how's that going to come through? Okay, so there's a lot here. All right. Gosh. Okay, so something about this rebirth is actually going to be helping you become like smarter. Okay, it's like your brain is going to work better. Okay, your brain is going to be working at its full capacity in a way that for some reason it wasn't able to before. Like the restriction card in this case is talking about restrictions lifting. Things that have actually been restricted from you are leaving, and you're not going to be restricted in a certain way. The High Priestess is saying that you've always known kind of like a version of yourself that you've meant to be. Like, I feel like this rebirth is going to feel like you're becoming the person you felt you've always meant to be, or at least closer to that version of yourself, like a step closer to the version of yourself that you've always meant to be. And I see you shedding layers. For some of you, this rebirth could actually involve some kind of a physical transformation in your appearance, because we have the physical health, grounding, foundations. The Earth Fairy really talks about the physical body. So it's like this transformation, this rebirth could be a shift in the way actually that your physical body looks, or in the way that your physical body, like the health of your physical vessel. I see this transformation actually really being, because the Earth Fairy is there at the center. So it's like at the center of this rebirth is actually your physical health. It's your physical health improving, and some kind of a restriction that you've had about your health lifting. Some kind of a restriction on your energy levels, on the way that your body manifests, the way it looks. These things like shifting and a restriction leaving you. Some kind of a restriction, like maybe you haven't been able to lose weight or haven't been able to gain weight. These kinds of things where it's like you might have been really, really trying and it hasn't worked, or you haven't been able to heal something. Also with the intellectual, the Wind Fairy, intellectual analysis, thoughts and words. This is like your brain working really, really fast. Like the neurons in your brain firing, like like electricity, like it's able to move really quickly. And I'm seeing like a lifting of brain fog and kind of just like general slowness or sluggishness in your thoughts, in the way that your brain works. It's like, people that can like look at a maths equation and it's just like instant, like they just have the answer come to them straight away, like lightning. That's how I feel like your brain is meant to be, like in your own version of that. It's like it's meant to be really fast, very quick, very intelligent, very smart. And I feel people already perceive you in this way. People already perceive you as very intelligent, very smart. Like it just comes through in your aura, even if they haven't really talked to you before, it's just there. But this is like you accessing a new level of it, like you really being reborn into a new level of this intelligence, this intellect that you have. It's kind of like, when brain fog brain fog comes from some kind of physical health issues. Often it's actually issues within the gut, within the digestion and stuff like that. So it's like something like this where you're going to be healing your digestive issues, and then the brain fog lifts and your brain's able to like work faster and smarter, and you're able to access this. And, if you're working on any kind of writing, it's like, I see you like being able to channel and flow state, like with your writing or with your art or with your work, like, flow state returning. And that's why I'm getting this thing where it's like really fast. And with flow state is when you can be like more productive in an hour than, most people can be in a whole day. Like, it's that kind of like ratio where I feel this is why this intelligence thing is coming through, because people are going to be like really quite surprised as like, how have you managed this? How are you so productive? How are you so intelligent that you've already got through like all this work when I'm still on page 1? Or, that feeling when you're reading a book, when you're reading a novel and you keep rereading the same line over and over again, and you're like, brain, what's going on? Why can't I just move on from this line? But it's like something about the brain just like can become really sluggish, and it's from physical health issues. That's where it's coming from. But it's that kind of thing where it's like you're moving out of a phase where it's like things have been sluggish and slow, and there's been a lot of restriction. Like, you've been under heavy karmic restriction for the restriction card to show up. Like, it's been heavy. And that is with the wasp card. It's like you might have been quite frustrated by it. It might have been like, oh, this is really frustrating. Why do I kind of this anger, this level of anger at like coming up against restriction time and time again. But the thing is that I see you've channeled that anger really well. You've channeled it into being productive and proactive about it's like, what can you do to change your life? What can you do? And Spirit's saying during this rebirth, the one thing to focus on, I would say, would be your physical health, the earth fairy, your physical health, your physical vessel, because that's what's going to unlock your productivity. I feel like a lot of you are working on something. I'm seeing someone writing a book. I'm seeing people working on things like a project. I'm seeing a lot of writing and typing though. Like creating the codes for some kind of an idea, some kind of a manifestation. So during this rebirth, the number one thing to focus on is your physical health, like 100% is your physical health. And I see that really, really helping you and serving you. So I see that something about anger with this wasp, something about anger is actually really going to serve you at this time. Like, it's really going to serve you during this transition, this rebirth. It's like your anger is going to actually help to carry you through, because when we come up against restriction, karmic restriction, where things feel like they're not available to us, no matter how much we try, that kind of thing, naturally it will evoke anger. But the thing is that anger can give us the strength and the power and the energy that we need to keep fighting, to keep going, to keep fighting another day, to keep trying something else, to keep moving through the restriction and to get through to the other side. So it's like, in a way, I see anger kind of being your friend, because it's given you kind of like a drive and a resilience. I think that resilience is maybe the word, where it's like you've never given up on yourself and you've never given up on your dreams. I feel like you're a really creative group. Definitely, like you're working on some kind of a creative project. I can see that really clearly in my mind. Or your whole life is a creative project. Maybe for some of you, your whole life is like your art. But for some of you, it's like maybe this project has been under a restriction as well, where it's like, oh, it's been so hard. There's been so many delays, there's so many setbacks, or I just never have the time or the energy, or my health keeps getting in the way, something like this. Or, like some aspect of your physical vessel has held you back. Like maybe you haven't had, I don't know, the health or the appearance that you've wanted to like do certain projects or to put yourself out there in a certain way. So it's like that's changing for you. This rebirth is going to give you basically the runway that you need to complete some kind of project or to get back on track with your work, with your business, with your art. Because I feel all of you are artists. You have such a creative spark in you, and it's been really, really challenging to be under this karmic restriction. I mean, karmic restriction is hard, no matter what it looks like, because whatever it looks like for an individual is going to be kind of like the hardest part of their life, right? The thing they feel the most held back in. So yeah, you've done really well. You've been really resilient. And Spirit's saying, like, allow yourself to get angry in a way, because you need to channel that anger, that life force, that fire energy into change, into action, into keeping on fighting and not giving up. And don't give up. Like, basically, like, don't give up, because some of you maybe have already found a solution to your problems, but some of you might not have found it yet. And the number one thing you need to do is not give up, because that will help you to keep looking and keep searching and keep being open to the solution. Because sometimes, like, we can try 99 things, but that 100th thing is going to be the key that unlocks the lock for us and that unlocks that new life for us. So it's like, don't give up. Don't stop trying, because every single time you try and you keep pushing forward, you're energetically sending out a message to the universe of like, I want change. I want this. I'm fighting for this. Yes, this is what I want. I'm claiming this life. I'm claiming this change. I'm claiming this freedom, this liberation from karmic restriction. So just keep going, keep fighting. And yes, you might need to channel that anger, that frustration that you feel at being under restriction, because it is so frustrating and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. It feels wrong to be restricted and held back, but it's like Spirit saying channel that into productivity and into fighting for a life that you want to live, that's worth living, because you can overcome this. Like the Earth Fairy, though, is saying that your physical health and your physical vessel is at the center point of this. Like for some of you, it's sort of like, you know how people say, oh, I have writer's block. I just, for some reason, haven't been able to write lately. And then other times, you know, you can channel the stuff and you're writing really fast. Okay, so what is at the core of your writer's block, for example, symbolically, right? For others of you, it might be something else, but it's like what's at the core of the creative block is the physical body. It's something in the physical body, like gut health not working properly, and it's sending all these neurotoxins to your brain, and you can't think, and you got brain fog, and it's like, oh, I feel like I'm being poisoned by my own body. Okay, it's like that kind of thing is what's going on here. So you're getting out of a rut. You're getting out of a creative rut, a block where you're like, I've got writer's block, I can't write, I don't know what I'm going to do, or whatever it is for each of you. There's been some kind of a block where you haven't been able to work, you haven't been able to do the thing you want to do, it hasn't been working, I haven't been able to push, like something hasn't been lining up. And then it's like, boom, this rebirth is about things lining up in a really positive way, and the restriction lifting, and you becoming like what you've already felt, because the High Priestess is like your intuition. It's like you've already kind of seen what this project is going to look like, or you've already seen the version of yourself that you want to be in order to really put yourself out there with your business, or to really put yourself out there with some kind of creative project. Or like, I feel like you already know. You're like, I know there's like a piece of the puzzle missing, or there's something here that isn't right. So it's coming in. You're having a rebirth, okay? You really are. And it's like your brain is going to be moving so quickly. Like with the Wind Fairy, that was the first card that came out. Like it's just going to be so fast. Like it's going to be like boom, boom, boom. Things moving around so quickly. You're having answers come to you like lightning speed. Being able to be really productive. Like a lot of work done in a small amount of time. Really in the flow state, really in the flow of things. And enjoying life again. Like the restriction is going to feel like a party. It's going to feel like a celebration, because you've been under restriction, karmic restriction, for such a long time, or in such a significant way, or a significant part of your life. Like it could have been with relationships or something like that, where it was like draining all your energy, like dealing with some kind of relationship issue that was not resolving itself or something. And then it's like, boom, things change and you're free. So it's going to feel like freedom. It's going to feel like, oh my God, I'm free. I'm free. Oh my gosh, I'm free. And actually for this group, if you're watching this at the time that I release this reading, if you're watching it when I release it, this upcoming Sagittarius full moon, it's happening in like a week from now. There's going to be some kind of a thing happening around that moon for you, okay? Where, oh my gosh, you're going to be feeling free. I'm so excited for you. When I said that, I got so excited. There's something really exciting happening for you, like within this time frame of like the next couple of weeks from when I release this. I guess you could probably say whenever you receive this reading, it could be within a couple of weeks, but there's something really significant about this Sagittarius full moon, okay? Because Sagittarius is about freedom. It's about freedom. It's like, yes, I'm free. I'm free. There's something like where you're going to feel free. You might even say it out loud. You might even say it out loud and be like, I feel so free. I feel so free. And I feel like you've been fighting for this for a long time. Like you've been putting a lot of effort in. You've been really resilient. You've been really, really not giving up on yourself or on your dreams or on your life or on your project, whatever it might look like. You really, really fought for this and you really, really deserve it. So with this rebirth, there is some kind of a change that's going to happen in your physical reality, okay? So for some of you, this, like I said, it could literally be about your physical appearance changing. Like I do feel this is coming in with that Earth Fairy being at the center of your reading. Like I really feel that the physical appearance could be shifting and changing and improving, like getting better, okay? You're gonna be looking real good. For some of you though, it could look a little bit more like your work life improves and you are physically like more stable with your finances, right? So there's some kind of a foundational energy that shifts and it's like, oh, I feel way safer in my body because I've got a lot of money coming in. I've got this thing sorted out. For all of you, it's going to be productivity related, right? You're going to be feeling really productive, really on fire, really, really, really productive, like flow state level of productivity, like I said, where it's like you can get more done in an hour than you used to be able to get done in a whole day. And you're going to be like, wow, where was this energy hidden from me, you know? And so that's why I feel as well this anger energy coming through is actually like really positive, because anger is really, really powerful frequency in the body, and it can move us, it can move energy like fire, it can burn through things, but it can also help us to take action in ways that we need to. So Spirit's saying again, don't give up, keep pushing, because you're going to have this breakthrough in this rebirth, and it's going to look like being productive, looking real good, looking beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, glowed up, having some kind of physical health issue release and really finding deep healing from it, like finding a solution maybe to a long-standing problem. Now, with the Wasp card, I do feel that for this group in particular, with this rebirth will come some kind of a slight retaliation energy from the world around you. Okay, so we have the Wasp, anger, retaliation, jealousy. Okay, and I saw this card, I saw a spider before I started reading, one of those like tiny little cute ones that hop, the jumping spiders. They're so adorable. I love them. I saw one of them and I was like, hello, spider. And then I saw this card in my head, the Wasp card in my head. So it's interesting it came out. So, so what I feel is that there might be some good old classic jealousy that comes through from others because of this glow up that you're going through. Like, I feel like for this group, it is a glow up. Like, people, I keep seeing a writer for some reason, okay? Take it however it applies to your life, whatever your life looks like. But I keep seeing the image of a writer, how they're like sitting at the computer and they're like, oh, I can't focus. And maybe they get up to have another cup of tea, but they're like, oh, I don't know, nothing's coming out. And it's like you're trying all these things, you're doing headstands, you're doing whatever you can, going for a walk, trying to book into a hotel. And it's like nothing's shifting this energy. Why can't I just focus? Oh my gosh. And then it's like finally something clicks into place. The restriction is lifted. Like I said, I feel like the key is within your physical body, within your physical vessel. Some kind of physical health issue was holding you back this whole time, and then it suddenly becomes resolved, or you become aware of it, or you find a solution, or you've been working on it this whole time maybe. And then it's like, boom, you're in super drive. You can like type all these things. You're writing this whole novel and it's coming out of you so fast. And you have all the vision for it, like the entire picture. And it's like, oh, it's all come together at once. But it's almost like people were used to you in the state of being where you were under your karmic restriction. It's like they were used to that version of you. And it's like they might be a bit prickly about this new version. And it's not going to be everyone, okay? But I do see specific energies coming in that might try to like put you down or be like, oh, you know what? You're working too much. You're pushing yourself too hard. You should just take a break and rest. And you're like, no, I feel fine. I'm doing great. I'm listening to my intuition. And they're like, no, you're just doing way too much. Like, I don't know. It's that kind of energy where it's like there's some kind of reaction in people where they want to kind of like put you back into that place you were before when you were under all this restriction. And you're like, no way, I'm not going there. And that's another reason why Spirit's saying like, keep that anger alive inside of you in a way. Like, don't suppress it or numb it out or feel like it's wrong, because that's actually showing you a boundary of like, you know what? You need to not let other people's energies kind of like come in and try to dim your light at this time, because the High Priestess is like, you know what's right for you, you know what's healthy for you, you know if you're working too hard, if you're not working too hard, you know if you're doing great or you're not doing great. So it's like you don't need to listen to other people's opinion about you or about your body or about your work or your productivity or whatever. It's like, just do you. If you want to work all night, then work all night. And like do what you want to do. You're free. And I think that's another thing that's coming through in your reading. It's like really important for this group is about freedom. It's like you are free, and you really need to not let anyone else try to take that freedom away from you, because for some reason I'm getting this retaliation kind of energy where it's like, I liked you better when you were all restricted and I don't know, like not doing that well, because for whatever reason it made certain people, like not everyone, but certain people, it made them feel more like you were more relatable, you were more on their level, I guess. And now it's like it feels like you're out of people's leagues. And that is something that I'm getting from this rebirth that you're going through, is like you're going to be in a league of your own, group 2, and people might feel intimidated by it, okay? It might be triggering a sense of people feeling like, oh, I'm not productive, I'm not doing great, or I'm not, gaining weight the way this person is, or losing weight or whatever. And they might feel kind of like bad about themselves. But it's just like Spirit saying, you kind of can't just stop to, caretake for everyone else's feelings. It's like you just got to keep focusing and keep going, because you're working on something really powerful and you're doing something really amazing. And this rebirth that you're about to experience, where this freedom comes in and this lifting of this karmic restriction that's been with you for a long, long time, this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg for you in terms of what this rebirth, this new era of your life, like for you, it feels like a whole new era is being born. And this shift in energy or in appearance or whatever it looks like, a health issue, this is just the beginning. Because think about it. If you've had a long-standing health issue that's really been holding you back, and then all of a sudden you don't have that anymore, you heal that, or you reach some level of freedom from it, then it's like, well, we're just getting started then. Let's go live life, let's go do everything we've always wanted to do, but we've been restricted from it. So it's like there's so much that's ready to come in for you. And I feel like you're going to be on cloud nine, and you're going to be kind of like, you're going to be like, celebrate, you're going to be like, yeah, I love life. Like, you're going to be really exuberant. There's going to be an exuberant and an excitement and energized energy. Like, I feel really energized from your reading. It's like you're going to be feeling so energetic. And I think that you're going to be kind of like accelerating away from people, and that they're going to feel that. They're going to feel that distance. They're going to be like, oh, wait, come back. Like, what are you doing? And they might make comments to try to like bring you back to their level. And it's like, just let it go, because you got your own business to tend to. You got your own reasons. Like, you're the high priestess. You know what you're doing. You know what your mission is. You know what you're here to do. So, I mean, Spirit's saying like you might want to keep it in mind a little bit that, maybe don't be too like boasting or gloating or something about this, although I'm even hesitant to say that, because at the same time I kind of feel like you ought to celebrate this, because you really deserve it, and you've been through so much restriction that you really deserve to be like celebrating and excited and telling everyone like, oh my god, I wrote like 1,000 pages. I'm finally getting my book done, and then people have been like, oh damn, like I haven't written my book yet. It's sort of like, wow, that's just the reality. But you might want to be a little bit aware that people are feeling this way around you. Good old-fashioned jealousy as well, a little bit of that. But ultimately, like, I would say, celebrate yourself, celebrate your life. There will be people that will be on your level, and they can celebrate with you, and they're happy for you and all this stuff. So don't worry too much. But I do see you navigating this, because it's come through in your reading. Like, there will be a sense of you navigating it. Like, oh, okay, this person's reaction is like this, and that doesn't make me feel very good. But at the same time, like, I see you kind of just like brushing it off and picking yourself up and moving forwards again and again and again, just keeping on moving forwards. And with that anger energy that I said was like kind of guiding you during this rebirth, it's like, remember that after your rebirth as well, because you might need to put up some boundaries. And anger really helps us to identify like where we need boundaries. Like, you might need to set boundaries with some of these jealous or retaliating kind of energies, especially because I feel like it's going to come through in the form of, oh, you're working too much, or you're doing too much, oh no. And you're going to be like, no, that's not true actually. And you might need to just like set a boundary, be like, look, this is my life. I don't need your opinion on it. Thanks. If I did, I would ask for it. That kind of thing. Yeah, and it comes from this sense of people feeling like, oh, you're accelerating so far away and I can't access you anymore, and you're like gone from me, kind of thing. And so, yeah, however you want to deal with that is up to you. Just being aware of that and realizing that your celebration, like, a lot of people are going to be feeling shit. I'm sorry to say it, but a lot of people aren't going to have this freedom from restriction at the same time as you. And I feel like you're kind of like, come on everyone, let's party, let's celebrate. And it's like, not everyone's going to. And I think that might feel kind of like strange to you, because you're like, wait, why are you not happy for me? Or why aren't we like, singing singing a song, because we're so like exuberant right now? It's like, yeah. So I mean, celebrate for yourself, like celebrate in your own time. I do feel like you're going to have certain people that can meet you there, and that you will be able to kind of like accelerate into. But I also feel like there's something about like newness, like this rebirth for you. Like I said, it's a whole new era. Like, I think you're going to be finding kind of like new colleagues or new people, friendships, groups, like opportunities, like a lot of opportunities coming to you, because like I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. This new energy is like the tip of the iceberg, and this restriction is not going to come back. That's the thing, like, it's gone, and therefore you can move forwards really, really easily and really quickly. And a lot of new opportunities coming in, like to collaborate or to whatever it is you're desiring, like a lot of opportunities for publishing or things that have been restricted coming in. And you're going to be really focused on that and really, really keen and like enjoying this new life. And I think that even if you tried to bring certain people who are from an old version of you, if you try to bring them in, like, it's not going to work. Like, there's certain people that I feel it's going to be, you're going to have greater boundaries with them, and it might look like not really speaking to them that much or something like this, because they were kind of like a vibrational match to you when you were under this really deep karmic restriction. And when you're not under that anymore, you become a different version of yourself, and you become at a totally different kind of like frequency level. And it's going to change things. It will. Like, and I think that there might be a bit of sadness from you, or a bit of anger or something of like, oh, why can't people just like be happy with me or come with me or whatever? It's like, well, everyone has their own life kind of thing. And yeah, I do think that's going to be the one challenge that you have about this rebirth for you, is because you are looking so stunning and your frequency is so magnetic and you are shining so bright and you are being so productive and you are getting so much success and so many opportunities. Yeah, people are going to be jealous. Okay. Yes, they are. And I even see, like I said, retaliation in the form of people trying to like pull you back in, like a fishing rod. What are they called? A fishing line, like trying to hook you and like bring you back in. Like, can I reel you back in? And it's not going to work on you. And then I think that there might be like some animosity then of like, oh, this person, like they just think they're better than me, or they're just going off and you know, like kind of like, yeah, people are kind of being bitter about it. And I think that's going to like kind of hurt you a bit, because you're going to be like, what the hell, guys? Like, I would be happy for you if you were able to whatever take off. But regardless, I think that's just during the transition, because I see this rebirth happening for you soon. Okay? Soon. It's happening soon, and then it's kind of going to smack you. It's going to hit you. It's going to hit you, and you're going to be like, whoa. And then it's kind of going to be this frequency from within you is like reverberating out into every part of your life, and things adjusting and readjusting themselves because of that. So yeah, so Spirit's saying something about your anger being a really powerful tool, a really powerful messenger for you during this time. It's gotten you to where you are because you didn't give up, you were resilient, you kept fighting, and you kept trying something new or trying some new solution or whatever. You just didn't give up. And then it's also going to help you to maintain proper boundaries, appropriate boundaries, as there might be some jealousy and retaliation from others because of your rebirth. Just because probably out of all the groups, I'm going to guess that like you're going to have the most glow in your glow up, okay? The biggest glow, the biggest wow kind of factor. It's going to be like wow, okay? It's going to be like wow. It's going to be noticeable, all right? There's no hiding with this rebirth. There's no hiding. It's going to be wow. And there's also something about, you know, it's sort of like you're getting attention as well in a way that you didn't get before this rebirth. And that might also make you feel kind of like weird, where it's like, oh, so now you want to talk to me, or like now you have time for me or whatever. It's going to be kind of different. It's going to be sort of strange to you to like readjust to this because it is going to be a big rebirth. Like I said, this feels like a whole new era. Like, it's not just a chapter opening, like it's a whole book. Like you're in book 2 now, okay? It's a big conclusion, and it's a big opening of a new part of your life. It's a totally different narrative and story. And a lot of people aren't going to be on the same page as you anymore, basically. Wow. Okay, so, wow. Whew. Yeah, so the intelligence thing, like really firing off, like really smart, really quick, like a lot of fast thinking and answering, and like your brain is going to finally work again. Like, I feel like you've had a lot of brain fog, or a lot of things feeling sluggish or slow, or a lot of karmic restriction that's kind of kept you in some kind of an emotional state. Like I said, for some of you, it might have been a relationship making you feel really unstable. Could have been a health issue making you feel really depleted. Could have been a financial issue making you feel unstable and insecure. But though something at the physical level with the physical body is going to be shifting, and you're going to be feeling really powerful, really strong, really safe. And it's a whole new era for you with so many opportunities, okay? So many opportunities. Really, really positive time for you. Like, this is the time of your life. And with the High Priestess as well, it's like it's something that you've actually seen. You've seen this for your life. You've seen this for your business, for your career. It's something you've been visualizing. It's something you've been wanting about your appearance maybe, or about health issue changing. Like, you've been really wanting this. You've been really trying this for so long, and you've been under such deep restrictions. And it's coming off. The restrictions are coming up, okay? Freedom. So yeah, so within the next 2 weeks, I see this rebirth really beginning. And I mean, I feel like it's already here actually for this group. But it's like you're going to get the first, like, it's more like here under the surface though. And then it's going to be like really visible within the next, or the first signs for some of you, the first signs of it within the next few weeks, and then becoming really visible within the next 6 months, like obvious, like everyone can see it in the whole wide world, kind of obvious. You're not going to be able to hide it. It's a full glow up. Yeah, it's going to be really powerful. Okay, so the light language healing that I just channeled is about the rebirth. You might want to check it out. It's a short and powerful one that would really help you with this phase, like of dealing with not just the rebirth, but anchoring it in and helping you dealing with kind of like the fallout. Because I feel like for you, it's more like the fallout from the rebirth that comes from like things really rearranging in your life. And like I said, having kind of some different reactions and sort of dealing with even an aspect of like being isolated by your own success, being isolated by your own rebirth because you are at a different level than you've ever been in your whole life. I also feel like the sacred fire, anger, light language healing that I just channeled last week, I really feel like that one as well would really resonate for you. It's a really powerful one. I love that one. I've been listening to it every day. It's really, really powerful for helping to like use the energy of anger within us and to really heal our relationship with anger, because like I was saying in your reading, it feels like anger is actually a really powerful and potent kind of tool that you can use in your life at this time. As you've used it to be resilient, but you can also use it as well to set boundaries and to kind of keep your place. Like you need to kind of guard yourself from people trying to like pull you back and reel you back into this old stagnant life that wasn't going anywhere. Okay, group 2, that is your reading. I'm sending you so much love and light on your path and enjoy your rebirth. Hello group 3 and welcome to your reading. So let's take a look at your rebirth. Spirit, what do you want group 3 to know about their rebirth? Oh, look at that. Wise leader. You are a beacon for others. Wow. Back of the deck is valiant courage. Take action with passion. You're going to be taking some kind of action that you've been kind of like too afraid to take, or it wasn't in alignment yet because you had some more things to kind of sort out. And so don't be hard on yourself about that because it just wasn't time yet. And like when it is time, that's what gives us in a way the confidence to kind of face those fears and to put ourselves out there. And so I see you putting yourself out there in like a new way. Yeah, fogged in. I feel like that's the energy you're coming from. Fogged in, go slow, take time. Like you've had to kind of go slow and take time. That might have been a bit frustrating at times because I feel like you have this, look, you're holding this sacred flame. It's like, you're like, I know that I'm here to be a leader. I know I'm here to do more or to help people or to be of service. Like, I feel like you really are aware of your service. There's something about you're meant to be here to be of service, and you're very like service oriented, meaning you're really focused on like, how can I help others or be a change in the world that I want to see, contribute to like the upliftment of humanity, to the new earth shift. And the thing is that you've had to do a lot of work on yourself to get to this point. And so you've had kind of like you're going through a shift. This rebirth is going to be like, even if you have been helping others already, this shift is going to be a rebirth into really, really helping others from a really strong and stable place. Because I feel like still the focus over the last few years of your life has still necessarily had to be on yourself. And it's had to be on yourself because you've still been healing and sorting out some things within yourself, even if you have been playing a massive role to be of service to others. Or some of you might not have, like you might not have felt like it was time yet to like put yourself out there or to go online or to publish certain work or to, I don't know, share your unique opinions or your unique voice with the world. But some of you might have already been doing it in some capacity. But regardless of where you're coming from, you're moving into a time where it's like you're going to be a leader. Like that's going to be the focus of your life. Kind of like the difference when, for some of you, it might be about actually becoming a parent, because I'm seeing the difference between, someone before they ever have a child and then after they have a child, and how much their life changes and how much they're then focused on their child, right? And what their child needs and making sure their child is, safe and secure and happy and whatever else. That's a huge shift. So it's like, that's the kind of energy that I'm getting where it's like, you've been kind of focused on yourself, even if you've been doing things for others, but this rebirth is like you're really stepping into a leadership role where your life becomes about leadership. Like it really comes about leadership and about being there for others and being a beacon for others. But the thing is that it's going to bring you so much fulfillment, and it's like you were made for this role, okay? You were literally made for this role, like 110%. You were made for this role. And a part of you has even felt lacking or like it was missing from your life to not be able to step fully into this role yet. Like you're like, where's it been? I want to be there already. And you've had to kind of go slow and take time with the fogged in card before it was time to valiant courage, take action with passion. Like there was this passion brewing within you and you're like, I want to do this thing, or I want to put myself out there, or something like this. And you're going to be seen for this. Like this rebirth is going to be one that's very visible. It's going to be on the public stage. It's on the public arena, and you're going to be like stepping into a really powerful role. So let's get a couple more cards. Really powerful role. Journey by Moonlight. Believe in magic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it might be something that it's going to make other people believe in magic, but it's also going to make you believe in magic. Like, oh, we had a card flying. There we go. We have crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. We got one more. Grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. Yeah. Really interesting. And then we have rejuvenating rain, clear the past, heal the present. I'm going to put that over here. Let me just check the cards. Okay. So there's something about this leadership that's going to be coming from your own life experience of healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. And because of how much you've healed, it's going to give you this sense of like believing in magic. Believing in the impossible is another way of putting it. Like something that you might have lived your whole life like hoping and trying for, but it wasn't fully available to you. It wasn't fully there. And then this rebirth comes in and it's like, boom, there it is. It's within you. It's been within you all along, and it's going to give you some kind of like deep sense of gratitude that puts you into a position of being a wise leader. Because I think the best leaders or the best sort of people who like put their voice out there, it's usually because they have something to say. And it's not that you haven't always had something to say, but it's like you're reaching this culmination point in your journey where it's like you just have so much to say at this point that there's no holding you back. Like you have so much wisdom to share. You have so much that you want to kind of like get off your chest and be like, yeah. So it's giving me the energy of, you know, when inspirational speakers, because that's what you're going to be in your own way. It's like inspirational speakers, kind of like the people I'm thinking of, like these mountaineering documentaries that I watch, and and how sometimes like these mountaineers, like they go through something really horrendous, like they go through something that almost killed them, or like, you know, that was super traumatic, and like this really big ordeal up on the mountains where it's like, oh my gosh, I went through all this stuff and this suffering and all these things happened, but they made it through, and it becomes this epic tale of adventure and resilience and overcoming the odds and believing, you know, that you can survive even when almost all hope is lost. And it gives people that sense of like inspiration, and it's like, wow, I want to hear this person's story, and it takes someone on a journey with that person through that landscape of what they've just lived through. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting from you, where it's like you're going to tell people about what your life has been like, or what you've healed, or how you've done it in a way that you didn't have full access to before. Or it's going to be spoken through your work, through your art in some way. Like you might not need to sit down and like tell the story in the way that inspirational speakers do, but it's like the way that you have a stage presence when you perform, or the way that you write your lyrics for your songs, or something like this. The energy you put behind your creative ventures or your work in some way is giving you this edge of leadership. And whatever arena that you find yourself in, like whatever way that you are being of service or you're creating, because art is service as well, or you're a healer or you're doing something, people are going to feel like you have an extra kind of leadership energy that you didn't have before. Like this rebirth is about leadership, and it's about you putting yourself out there. You are a beacon for others, that card says. So it's about you really putting yourself out there in a way that you haven't before. You haven't put yourself out there in this way before. And it's going to take some sense of courage, some sense of like pushing past fear or limitation, because I think that it's going to be bigger than anything you've ever done before. Like, you know, a lot of people in the audience, whatever that looks like for you, a lot of eyes watching, a lot of people, a lot of ears listening, a lot of attention on you. And I think you're finally ready for this. And and you've done a lot of inner work. Like, you've had to do a lot of healing, connecting, mending, and releasing in order to get to this point. And I think you're just going to be so grateful that you're finally here, because it's what your life purpose is. Like, it's what you are here to literally do and to get done in your lifetime. So this rebirth feels like a new role that you're stepping into, where you're going to be in a leadership position. You're going to be sharing your voice. It's really about your voice, something you have to say, or something that you communicate your voice through art in some form. Or you might also be, for some of you, it could also actually represent being able to have like a deeper level of relationship with somebody as well. And being able to, like, you are a beacon for others, meaning like you might be able to draw in relationships that resonate with you at a much deeper level. Okay, this is for all of you. As I'm saying that, I can really see this. So no matter what your relationship status is right now and what your relationships look like, I see you drawing in, like, you're being a beacon for higher level and higher quality relationships that are much more soul reflective, like soul family, soulmate kind of unions and connections that are really, really deeply nourishing. And these are the kinds of connections that we often have to do some healing before we are in alignment with receiving them, because they will not be a match to the parts of us that really are like inauthentic. They are only a match to our truest authentic soul. So I feel like this new rebirth is about authenticity for you. And it's also, I would say, the key word that I keep getting is like confidence. You're going to be so confident. You're going to have a real deep confidence and kind of like almost like a sassiness or like a spunkiness or something, where you're not going to feel like you have to kind of like, you're going to feel way more confident to be a bit provocative or assertive, or to be controversial in some way, or to have art that's very like avant-garde, or to be like a futuristic starseed that you might be, and to kind of just put yourself out there as the truth of who you are without caring so much about how people perceive that or how they might judge that or misunderstand that. So there's like this real confidence that I feel that's been brewing within you, and it's come from this deep healing that you've been doing, where you're becoming your truest, most authentic self. So it's like authenticity and confidence and the courage to be yourself and the courage to put your voice out there. And this is something that I feel like you've been dreaming of for a long time. It's like you've been dreaming of it and you've been wanting to like sort of be free. And I even see for some of you, you might have even been rehearsing this role, like rehearsing, like, what would I say? How would I convey this? Or like visualizing in your mind, in your head, like, what would the most authentic version of me look like, and how would I go about the world, or how would my art be expressed, or how would my relationships be received, how would my relationships look? So there's some kind of rehearsal I'm getting, like where you've kind of rehearsed this already, or you've visualized it, you've thought about it a lot, you've really like thought about like, what is it that I want this to look like, or how do I want this to go? What would my role look like? How would I convey, how would I communicate my message? And the thing is that when the time comes with this rebirth for you to communicate this message, or communicate your art, or to have deeper level soul relationships, because I kind of feel like all three at once really with this rebirth, you're not going to really, it's going to come really naturally to you. And a lot of the thinking is kind of going to leave you. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of thinking and preparing and rehearsing kind of energy, because you've still had fear, and there's been that fear has really like held you back in the past, but it's because there was still a lot to heal before you were ready to put yourself out there in such a way. Because I feel you're going to be putting yourself out there in a way that for most people would be really terrifying, or is really raw, or really honest, really vulnerable, really authentic. And that could be, like I said, relationship wise, but I see you being a beacon. It's like almost like these relationships can come to you because you're putting yourself out there in a new way. Like, you've never, I don't know, exhibited your art in a gallery before, and then you have your first exhibition opening and you meet someone really significant there, and they can see you for who you are and they love your art, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so vulnerable, I'm putting myself out there, but it feels so good. Or for some of you, it might be about starting a YouTube channel, or sharing a more authentic message, or sharing more authentic part of you than you've ever felt safe to kind of share online before in some way. So you are going to be a leader. Like, this is the role that you've had within you from this whole lifetime. Like, you've always known in some way that this is what you're here to do. but the magic hadn't like fully come together yet. There were like pieces of the puzzle that hadn't fully clicked into place. And that's what kept you from kind of taking action with passion. So this rebirth is going to be like a passionate rebirth where you're going to have a lot of passion, like a lot of energy and a lot of courage and kind of like fearlessness to just take on the world and to put yourself out there, like I said, in a way that you have definitely never done before. Even if you've been in the field your whole life, you've never put yourself out there in quite such a vulnerable or authentic way. And it's going to kind of be like almost a shock to some people in your life, but it's going to feel so good for you. You're going to feel so confident and people are going to receive this very, very well. I think that's another thing Spirit wants to say with the Believe in Magic card is like, I think a lot of this rehearsing before this has happened, before you've stepped into this role, stepped into a more authentic version of yourself, there's been a lot of rehearsal or like, well, how would this person think about it? Or how will it be received? Or what happens if people contradict me or fight me on it or something? And it's like, actually, because of the energy in which you're taking action is so based in authenticity and it's so based in like divine truth and courage, I see it really being received in like a really positive way and people really taking notice of you and being like, wow. And you can pull it off basically, even if it's a super ambitious kind of like art, I don't know, some kind of like very contemporary kind of art. It's like you can pull it off and you're going to pull it off. And even if it's like provocative or people are like, whoa, this is so crazy. It's like there's something about it where people are going to be like, oh my God, I love it. I love you. I love it. And it's going to almost develop a following. Like you're going to develop a following of some kind because of your voice, because of the way that you communicate energy. And because for some of you specifically, you're going to be telling your story or telling something about your life, like you're a beautiful storyteller. Again, take it how you might tell stories through photographs or through, videography or something. But for a lot of you, it's going to be actually your voice, like how you explain things, how you explain what you've been through, how you explain and break down complicated ideas and you make it really simple to understand. For some of you, this could be really stepping into a role as like some kind of a divine teacher in some way, like teaching people about something. And I'm getting my throat chakra is getting a bit sore as I'm talking and it hasn't happened for the past 2 groups. So it's your group, okay? So this fear has really been held in your throat chakra and it's really kept you from your truest authentic expression in this lifetime. It's like something you've had to work towards. And if you had tried to force it, I mean, not that you would, but because I feel like we can't really force things like this, but if you had tried to force it prematurely, it wouldn't have landed in the way that it's about to land in the world, okay? It wouldn't have landed. It would have kind of been a flop, or it would have kind of been like, people have been like, I don't understand, I'm misunderstanding you. And it would have felt like really painful because it would have felt like your communication wasn't kind of being received. So because you've waited for the right time and you're putting yourself out there and it's like you're taking action with passion, you've got the courage, you've got the confidence that you kind of need because things are in alignment, Spirit's kind of giving you this green light and you're taking action, it's like it's going to be really well received and people are going to really hear you. And I think that's like been a huge wound. You've got wounds in your throat chakra. Oh my God. You definitely have wounds in your throat chakra around communication and expression, like maybe feeling like there's some kind of maybe wound around feeling really different from the world around you or feeling like weird or like people don't understand or you try to explain but people don't hear your wisdom. I feel like there's something here about people not receiving your wisdom in some way, like maybe devaluing your voice or being like, oh, you're just a child, you don't know what you're talking about kind of thing. Even though I feel like you were someone who had a lot of deep wisdom since you were a very young child. And in a way, like you were spot on from a really young age, but it's like the way that you were treated by society, by family, by institutions, education systems is like, oh, you're just a child, you don't know what you're talking about. And I feel like that really hurt your throat chakra because it's like you were so spot on the entire time, like you knew exactly what you were talking about, but you weren't received for that wisdom. And there's something about being misunderstood, like maybe you just hadn't found your people yet. Because there's another theme here around soul family where I feel like part of this throat chakra pain is because you weren't around the right people. And so you felt really shut down energetically in your throat chakra. Because we can talk about authenticity all we like. We can talk about it, and say, oh, you just got to be your authentic self and everything's fine. But it's like, there's also a place and a time. There's a time and a place for authenticity. And if we're around people that aren't truly honoring of who we are, then it might not be the safest place to be authentic, and that's okay. And you don't have to force yourself to be authentic and to share anyway and to whatever, because there's certain energies that have to heal first before we can truly, truly be our most authentic self, no matter what. And I feel like you're entering into a time where you're going to be like a very, very, very fully embodied version of yourself, and that is going to pull in and draw into you soul family and soulmate relationship. And because of having those people around you in your field where it's like there is an effortless understanding, there is an intuitive understanding, almost a telepathic understanding between you, and you can be 100% honest with them about anything, and they won't judge you, they won't misinterpret you, they won't it won't be weird or uncomfortable. You're going to feel like so open in your throat chakra and in your heart, like especially it's just going to be like so open. You're going to be like, finally. And it's going to feel really, really good to just be yourself. And you're going to be bringing this into your work in some way, like your work as a leader, because artists are leaders too. They're thought leaders as well. Like you're avant-garde, even though I feel like that term's kind of overused, but it's like, that's the best word for it. It's like you're avant-garde, like you're bringing something new into the arena. You're inventing, you're innovating, you're inventing, you're on the cutting edge, like you're from the future. You've got futuristic energy and you're bringing it to this collective. And I think that has been at times for you a burden in your life where you felt like, oh, people, like the fogged in card, it's like, oh, people don't understand me, no one can see me, they all think I'm weird, or I'm, you're kind of like ahead of your times. You're born into a time where like the whole collective consciousness is trying to catch up with you. But the thing is that is such an amazing gift, and it's just that there's had to be healing happen so that you can receive it for the gift that it is and really come into your power with it and come into the fact that like this gift is super powerful, and it can also make you a lot of money and a lot of success, because it's like, you know what, as much as people like what is normal and status quo, people also like what is cutting edge and what is different, what is innovative and what is inventive. Like we love that. Like the collective consciousness thrives for that energy. Like it loves it, it thrives on it. And regardless, like you're going to find your people. You're going to find the people that you are here to serve and that you are here to hold a beacon of light for. Okay. And, I feel like with the age of Aquarius, it's like we're kind of moving out of hierarchy with the age of Aquarius with the new earth. It's like it's not going to be as much about hierarchy and about like leaders and followers and stuff, because we are all leaders. We are all kind of equal, and there's going to be more of an equal playing field. So I think that you're going to be like a very new earth kind of leader, where it's like you're not trying to say, oh, I'm better than you or I know more than you, but you're more like sharing like, this is my unique perspective, this is my unique art or vision or creative like contribution to the world. And it's going to be very organic, and it's going to, number one thing, like, is fulfill you in a way that you have not felt fulfilled before. And for some of you, this rebirth could also be about changing careers. I could easily see that for a lot of you if you've been working a more kind of matrix job, or if you've been feeling like your job hasn't my throat chakra is going. There you go. If you feel like your job hasn't been activating your throat chakra, like your part of your life's purpose is actually your throat chakra. It's about you having a voice in the world and sharing your gifts and your art and like being inventive. Like you're meant to invent new ways, like new solutions to problems, and like bring in ideas that are like cutting edge and that no one's kind of thought of before. And because you hold that role, it's not always an easy role. It's not always easy because people like can hold on to the old and to like the status quo, and they don't always like the new. But and you might also have felt really weird or odd, or like you never fit in, or that people misunderstood you or didn't understand you and things like this. Okay, but your purpose is super to do with your throat chakra and about you having a very clear and open channel where you can share and you can communicate with the world like freely without any of this kind of restrictions placed upon you by yourself or by others or by the matrix at large, like the mundane kind of world, the normies. None of that is meant to hold you back from being the most incredible version of yourself. So I see you reaching some kind of a breakthrough with your healing, and this is what is triggering the rebirth. And that's why I feel this grace and gratitude card here, because it's like you're going to be so grateful and it's going to set something free in your throat chakra. Like this gratitude is, look, it says through gratitude, joy expands. Like this gratitude of some kind of healing milestone that you're reaching, it's going to expand your life through joy, through the energy of joy, through the energy of passion. You're going to feel so creative. You're going to have so much energy to just be like, oh my God, I need to create right now. I need to share. I need to just begin. And it's going to feel like finally the green light has gone off in your life. And you're like, okay, I know I'm definitely meant to begin now. Because I feel like for some of you, there might have been like, I keep getting this rehearsal, like you've rehearsed it in your head, you've thought about it, you've been like, well, if I were to share, what would I say? Or, if I did exhibit my art, what would it look like? Or if I, did want to publish this, what would I do about it? You've thought about it a lot and it hasn't fully come together yet. There's still been certain energies that needed to align. And then it's like they're all kind of reaching this tipping point and there's going to be a green light from the universe and you're going to be like, finally, and then you can accelerate forwards and go for it. And you're going to feel really certain and clear about it. So it's like you don't have to worry about taking action before you feel clear or confident, because that's not actually what I see as being advised for you. Like, what is being advised for you is that you wait until you feel that green light from the universe and you feel that passion and you feel that passion like overcome you, where it's like, oh, I have to take action. I can't not take action, which is actually how I felt when I started my YouTube channel. It was like, I just needed to do it. I was like, yes. And I had so much passion. I had so much, I don't know, like positivity about it. So I feel like that's going to be a similar energy for you, where it's like, you're not going to have fear in the actual doing of this, like the beginning of this project, because you've been preparing for this for such a long time. And that's been processing and purging all the fears out of you. It really has. There's something about your voice that helps people to believe in magic. Like, it actually helps people to believe in magic again after they may have stopped believing in it for some reason. Or they never did in the first place. Like, you are a spark of magic in the world where people can like hold on to it and be like, oh my gosh, I believe. And it's really, really powerful. So this rebirth is really going to help resolve this fog energy that's been with you, where you've been like, am I meant to do it now or not? You've had like not enough clarity to really take action in like such a big way, because this feels like massive action. Like, this could be career change. This could be like putting yourself out there in a way that you never have before. That feels quite vulnerable, especially for where you come from. But the thing is that there's some deep transformation that's been happening within you, where it's like, it's just going to feel like time. And this is your life purpose. This is your mission, to fully activate your voice in this lifetime. Like, your throat chakra is one of your greatest talents, like your communication. Again, the way that you communicate could be varied. It could be through art. It could be through media. It could be through just your voice. It could be through song, through sound. But you are meant to communicate with the world and be in relationship with the world in a way that I feel like hasn't been available to you before yet in this lifetime. It's like this level of relationship. And that's why I was also seeing the theme of relationship, soulmate, soul family coming in, because it's like the way that you're in relationship with the world is going to change. Like, you're going to feel so much more confident and open and ready to kind of be yourself. Like, any shyness I see, like, kind of filtering out of you, kind of like detoxing out of you. And it's like, you're not meant to be shy. You're meant to be bold and fierce, kind of like roaring like a lion. Yeah, you're meant to have like the presence of a lion, like a lot of strength and leadership energy, putting yourself out there, having a strong voice, and being really clear about who you are and like what it is that you're here to share, and not letting like the shadow energies of the earth like hold you back anymore. Just not letting it hold you back anymore. So don't worry about forcing any kind of action. You're meant to flow with this. It's meant to actually feel quite effortless, and you're going to very much enjoy the process, okay? Starting this new venture, welcoming in these new relationships, it's going to be so enjoyable. And I know that it's something that's brought you a lot of fear. Maybe you've even had a lot of fear about relationship and thinking like, oh, how am I ever supposed to open myself to a relationship again? I've been so hurt. Or am I going to just repeat the same patterns with the same kinds of toxic things? And it's like, this is a rebirth in relationship for you as well. Like, it really is. I'm seeing really high level relationships coming in that are going to feel very, very different to what you've experienced before, and where, like I said, your throat chakra is going to be very, very open with them. You're going to be able to be very authentic, and the communication is going to flow really effortlessly. So yeah, your role is to be a voice in this world, to have this open throat chakra channel of communication, of sound, of song, and of art. And it's going to help others to believe in magic. And yeah. So this rebirth is confidence, it's courage, it's clarity as well. And it's you really taking action in massive ways than you have ever really taken before, and being the most authentic self that the world has ever seen of you before, and you loving every single minute of it. Okay, so group number 3, that is your reading. I would really recommend actually for your group the throat chakra light language healing, activate your voice. I listen to that one every day. I listen to many of them every day. I really like them, but that one especially is one of my favorites. And also I just channeled a rebirth light language activation that would really help you in this time where you're like kind of really starting a new life. You're having like a totally different life coming in for you. So this rebirth light language, all the information is linked in the description box below if you want to check it out, read more about it. I really feel like that one would help you along with the activate your voice light language. All right, group 3, I'm sending you so much love and light on your path. Take really good care.